We came out playing great lacrosse in the first quarter, just what we wanted to do. I thought the guys were prepared. All the credit goes to Harvard. I really thought they played an excellent game today. They wanted it a little bit more when it was on the ground. I think that was a difference. The tough ground balls, they were really fighting and scrapping for them, and they did a really good job. I thought they were very efficient offensively. They had long possessions that would end up in a good look, and a lot of times a goal, and then they did a great job at the face-off X on the ground ball play, and then they get another offensive possession. So it put too much pressure on our defense. We played a lot of defense today, and it's just too much. You can't give an offensive group like Harvard that many possessions and long offensive sets. It just puts too much pressure on our defense and our goalie. And again, all the credit goes to them, and we'll learn from it and get better, and it's on to the next one. Yeah, I mean, I think when we did have the ball offensively, for the most part, we generated some good chances, but credit to their defense. I thought they really did a nice job in the second half. They tried to take away, our key guys offensively, and Connor Busick and Matt Donovan, and they really had a good game plan for them. And when we play as much defense as we did, and again, they're a very talented offensive group. They're well coached, and it was just too much for us today. And again, the face-off X was I think a big swing for them. They seemed to want the ground balls a little bit more than we did at the X, and I don't think it was necessarily their face-off guy beating Doug consistently. I just think that the tough ground balls, they seem to come out with more of them today.
They really showed early to everything. They didn't shy away from any of us, and they pushed down our hands, got on us, and packed it in behind it. So it's tough to dodge the goal when you see a slide and you see another defenseman right in front of you. So they did a good job of really just kind of packing it in and making it look like there was less space than there is on the field. We've got all of our goals still intact. It's one of those things where maybe we rode a little too high getting 9-0. Maybe this is what this team needed to knock us down a peg and now really refocus, and we got the orange turnaround in 48 hours, so 72 hours maybe. So it's never a good thing to lose, but if you're going to lose, might as well be now and at the end of April, before May rolls around.
Well, we talked about in a pressure ride situation where they're jumping us down low, we have to get our midfielders back. So I think Christian just looked up. He was dealing with some pressure. He saw one of our guys out in front of the goal, but he didn't notice their guy, kind of hiding in front of the cage. So we didn't say much about it. It's mistakes happen in the game of lacrosse, and it's part of it. So it was more just trying to clean up our clear a little bit as a group, and not on Christian, on the entire group. We needed to get some more help to him, and I think that was a bit of a turning point there, that they were starting to make their run, and that would have been nice to be able to clear it and get an offensive set for us. So it's a game of runs, and we've been on the good side of it all year, and give them credit. They went on a nice run today. Well, he let in a few today that I'm sure he wants back, but he also made some that were just incredible today. I mean, he had 14 saves. They had 14 goals. He had 14 saves, and I don't know what their total shots were, but it seemed like every shot they were taking was on cage, and credit goes to them again. Put a lot of pressure on Christian. He made some incredible saves. So I don't think he's too down. He's very even-keeled, so I don't think there's going to be any question he'll be ready to go.
I think they just stretch us out a lot. I mean, we had our game plan. We were going to run a little bit, and they had some fast, athletic midfielders, and they kind of, got some looks. And at that point, I think we had a couple mental errors, but at the same time, we kind of just lost it a little bit. And I tried to calm the guys down a little bit, and it kind of just seemed like we were playing a lot of defense. And at that point, you're just looking for one stop, and Christian played great. I mean, he played phenomenal with some of the saves, and that's something that we've been looking for. And I just don't think that the rest of us really carried on to that, and I think that definitely hurt us. But credit to Harvard, they had some athletic guys, and they definitely ran us a lot.
I think there's games like that. I have experienced it actually last year.
Really?
If you guys recall Bucknell, I think it was a very similar thing where some days, it's just not clicking. And today, unfortunately, for our offense, the credit goes to Harvard. They did a great job defensively. They game planned well. They played great as a team. Played the 7 versus 6 game very well. But you know, sometimes things aren't just clicking, and unfortunately today that was the case for us, and we couldn't really get in a rhythm without the ball, and really couldn't get everybody on the same page. And so it happens. And the great part about at this time of the year is we turn around, we got Q, so we're back to work probably tomorrow. We'll be able to refocus and go out and try to get a win. You know, I think we practiced pretty well overall. You just didn't see it today. I think, as always, when we play on Schoellkopf, and any time really, we want to defend Schoellkopf, and we really want to get after on the ground and outwork people. And today Harvard did a great job. I think they beat us in the ground ball battle for the first time this year, and that stinks. That stinks. And so that's definitely our focus moving on to Syracuse, and really getting everybody refocused and back on the same page until we get rolling again.
Yeah, I think you really hit the point there. Is that it's better to lose now than at the end of May. When it really counts. And this gives us time to refocus and get our guys together, and really put our goals in front of us and say, where do we want to be? And at that point, our goal is to win the Ivy League championship, Ivy League tournament, and get a chance to get into the NCAA tournament. And that's our main focus right now. So at that point, our goal is still alive right there, and that's what we're going to strive for. And I think that's the biggest point for us right now, is that it's better to lose right now than to lose in that Ivy League tournament and then possibly miss the NCAA. So that's our main focus right now. Hey, we got a lot of upstate teams that we like to play, and I think that's one of the great rivalries. Syracuse kind of prides themselves on being the upstate team, but we take it to them every year, and it's always a great battle. And every week, like I said, one game at a time. But rivalries are always great, and it's going to be a great game come Tuesday.
It's still the same. They're a very good team. They're very talented. It just doesn't give you as much time to prepare and look at their personnel and put too much into the scout. It's going to come down to some of the things we didn't do as well today. The hustle plays, the ground ball plays, finishing our chances, just playing great team defense, because we're not going to be able to spend a ton of time getting ready for them specifically. We're going to have one day of practice on Monday, and it's going to be more of a walkthrough, and then they're coming here. They've had a little break, which is new. They normally play the Saturday before our game. They were off this Saturday, so they've had more time to prepare for us, but we can't worry too much about that. It's all about making the plays that we can and going out there playing as hard as we can, as long as we can, and that's our focus.
Man,
it's a good debate. It's a good debate. I do struggle with it at times because it's just changed a lot. It seems like it used to be more about the face-off unit and all three guys, and now it just seems like so many of the face-off guys that are strong in the game, it's all about them just winning that ground ball out, maybe on the back of a stick. And I'm not sure if that's in the spirit of what we want to do, but it's in the rules right now, so I can't blame any of these guys for doing it that way. And if you have a great one that can do it, then you're going to ride that. And today he did a very good job. So it's an interesting debate, and I know a lot of our time spent as a coaches group will be talking about that this summer. But right now we can't worry too much about that. It's about winning the ground balls and doing a better job, and hopefully we can even out the possession time and take care of it.